everybody. Welcome. Welcome, wonderful student writers and their parents and their family and their friends and teachers in the audience. Especially welcome to you. I'm Fran Ferrone. I'm the program coordinator for Play with Words, and I'm the one who's been bugging you with emails for the last 4 months, so apologize. Anyway, this is the third year for Play with Words. I was looking for something to do on a winter afternoon a couple of years ago, and I saw this in the local paper, and I thought I'd check it out, and then they got me. So this is an amazing opportunity for young writers to actually explore their craft and maybe different ways of using their craft through the art of playwriting. And it was really started as an incubator for new work. And that's what we're going to see today. So today's winners get a $100 cash prize. They also get a critique from a published playwright. But most important of all is that they get your reaction. They get to see the reaction to their own work, because this is really just the beginning. They see what the reaction is, and they decide where they're going to take it from there, what they might change, what they might cut out. So as they will soon know if they don't now, writing is a process. So we'll have no intermission. The plays will run 6 plays, about 70 minutes. And restrooms are downstairs if you don't already know. So just come and go as you need to, because right after the intermission, we'll go into a Q&A with the audience, so you'll get to ask questions of the playwrights as well. I also want to say refreshments in the back, programs if you didn't get them in the back, and although it is a free event, donations are always welcome to support the program. So before I move on, before they get the hook, I just want to thank the actors here today. We've got a really big cast. I want to thank our producer, Valerie Eastburn, our director, Fran Young, Joao Neves, who's lights and sound, Leslie Crilly, front of house, Terry Epstein, our PR lady, and also the wonderful pictures that you see here are by the local artist, award-winning artist, illustrator, and author Dot Bunn, and so they really add a lovely kind of charm to our festivities today. Now I'd like to introduce Griffin Horn, who is a playwright, and he's going to kick us off and then moderate the Q&A afterwards. So enjoy, everybody.
Thank you all for coming out and supporting new plays and these awesome new playwrights that we are going to be highlighting today. I'm going to be monitoring or conducting the post-show discussion afterwards, where we're going to get some of your feedback and some of your responses to these plays, so our playwrights have info to go on and continue to rewrite them. I want to remind you all that what you're about to see is a staged reading. A staged reading is not a production. A staged reading is for us to imagine what a production could be like and test it out with an audience, so these playwrights have info to keep going. So the goal for you all for today is to be attentive, be responsive, laugh, cry, smile in your heart. We all can feel it when you are paying attention. There are actually neurological studies where they hooked monitors up to an audience's hearts and measured that when an audience is paying attention to a play, their hearts all start beating in rhythm together at the same rate. So that's a real thing out of the University College London. You can look it up. So the last thing that I want to say before we begin today is remember that you all could have been watching Netflix this afternoon. You all really could have been watching Netflix this afternoon. You didn't. You're here, you're among a group, so let's take responsibility for that, let's pay attention, let's celebrate these playwrights together, and let's see what we can find together here live in person. Let's see, all right, the plays and the playwrights that we have for today are Aliens and Earthworms by Charley Mayer, Vampire Hunter by Saskia Cooper, Beyond the Stars by Corinne Britnall, I Promise We Can by Emma Boerner, Survival of the Fittest by Josilyn Hill, and Revelations at a Farmer's Market by Abigail Wuss. All right, pay attention, give your whole hearts to this performance, and I will see you in the post-show.
Good afternoon. I am Fran Young, the director, and we will begin our program. Our first play This afternoon is Aliens and Earthworms by Charley, Mahar. Let everyone get situated. Can you get that? Okay. Our three main characters are all teenage aliens aboard a spaceship. Mai, who is rebellious and intelligent, Atlas, who is unaffectionate and bored, and Opal, who is optimistic and social. The other characters are Artemis, the 378-year-old lazy captain of the ship, Orion, the bland alien lieutenant, and Kurt, the ship's janitor. The setting is in the future in a large spaceship, which is floating someplace in the universe. The room is windowless, empty, and cold. Aside from a control panel and a worn-out armchair, there is a white coffee mug sitting on the control panel. At Rise, Mai, Opal, and Atlas enter. Opal is prodding at a small pot in Mai's hand, but Mai is being very secretive about it and shooing her away. Atlas trails a few feet behind, slouching and mumbling incoherently. As the trio stops center stage in the control room, a quiet sound of footsteps is heard as Kurt appears from stage right. He carries a mop and is wearing headphones. The others look up as he strolls across the room, humming a tune.
Come on, Maya. Just a little peek is all I need. You may be the hero of our planet thanks to this discovery, so you'd better give us a part in the plan. Right, Atlas? Kurt?
Kurt looks up, startled, stops singing, glances between Opal and Atlas a couple of times and scurries off stage.
Oh yeah, sure, whatever. Wait, what's happening?
Well, Atlas, you know how our home planet has been dying and we came to Earth to find a solution?
Yeah, I guess so, but didn't we come back empty-handed?
No. Mai found this weird, slimy, sad-looking noodle.
An earthworm, actually.
Opal and Atlas gather around Mai to inspect the pod in her hand containing the earthworm. Then Orion walks on stage and stops right in front of the control panel. Opal and Atlas stand up swiftly.
Lieutenant Orion, I'm glad you agreed to meet with us. As you know, Artemis asked us to.
I know what Artemis told you. Get to the point.
Yes. I found these amazing creatures. They seem to keep the Earth alive
And your evidence.
I haven't collected any evidence because I still need confirmation in you and...
You have permissions. Don't kill the entire planet, I suppose.
Oh, okay. Opal, Atlas, follow me. I have a plan.
Cool. Can you explain it on the way to the cafeteria? I'm pretty hungry.
The three teenager aliens all walk off stage. Then Kurt enters singing a pop song into his broom. The singing is clearly straining his voice and off-key. He continues all the way across the stage until he is out of view. Opal, Mai, and Atlas then re-enter with Artemis and stop. Artemis takes a seat.
There is estimated billions of worms for every person on Earth. How exactly do you plan to take so many earthworms from the Earth? One more time for me, Mai.
Of course, even though I've explained it to her 100 times. So, we won't need all the earthworms for our planet, just a few billion. We've already taken those using our polarity ray. Now, we just need to kill the rest of them using the radiation machine and see if the Earth dies or not.
Will there be consequences to the other inhabitants on the planet?
Unfortunately, yes.
Well, glad that's not my problem. Sure, go ahead, do the radiation thing. Report back to me tomorrow. Just make sure I've had my coffee or else it might not end well for you.
Oh, okay.
Dude, you realize that all the creatures and plants and everything on Earth will die?
Yeah. Mai, are you sure about this? Can't we just test a small area?
Well, not exactly. The earthworms will be filling up wherever we steal them from in no time.
So then I guess we should hurry up and get this done.
Well, actually, it took a little more than a few billion. I took all of them over the last month.
Cool, so we could just go home? I haven't seen my TV in months. Plus, I stole some games from Earth to play.
Well, yeah, so here's the problem. By the time we show the results tomorrow, the entire Earth will be a complete wasteland.
So you would prove your point. I mean, I don't see the problem.
Well, if I lie about the length of the experiment, that could lead to our entire plant's ecosystem becoming more messed up than the wildfire-ridden landfill it is now. Messing with the factors of how long our planet will need to recover might be catastrophic.
Oh, okay. Well, we have to report to Artemis by tomorrow, so we'd better just tell her and hope our planet doesn't blow up or anything.
Okay, I'll call her in here. Better get it over with now than wait for tomorrow.
Mai walks over and presses a button on the control panel that alerts Artemis to come in.
What is it?
Right. So I already have the results, and the Earthworms will probably be able to save our planet.
That quick?
Yeah, well, mostly, you see.
Let me see the worm. I want confirmation from Orion.
Mai hands the pod to Artemis, but doesn't let go. They tug it back and forth a bit until Artemis finally gets it.
Thank you. Go back to your rooms for the night. We'll see tomorrow how well you did.
Oh, I hope that goes well. Otherwise, we might get kicked out of the ship.
What? You think they'd actually eject us into space?
Yeah, well, my friends from home told me that sometimes people would go on missions to space for our leader, and then after months of waiting for them to get back, their families would never get to see them again. The ones who went on a mission were claimed to have mysteriously disappeared. That could happen to us.
Oh, that's just a rumor. It's all gonna be fine. Our planet will be fine. Everything will be fine.
That sounds like you're convincing yourself more than us.
No, I'm just being a reassuring friend. Something that you are unbelievably bad at.
Okay, guys, I have a plan. When Artemis and Orion find out, they may not be mad, but if I know our captain and lieutenant, when they find out, they will be mad. All we need to do is pack a few bags using supplies from the closet in the East Wing. I'm pretty sure Kurt can get us all the necessary items. Then we can use those to survive on our own.
All right. I see a problem with your plan.
What? I spent 10 minutes coming up with this.
Yeah, what does it accomplish? We'd just be exiling ourselves before Artemis and Orion do.
I think Atlas is right, Opal. I think we can tweak it just a bit.
How?
Well, we can get all the necessary supplies like you said, everything two people could need to survive on their own. Then we place it all into an escape pod and boom!
How is that different from mine?
In my plan, we push Artemis and Orion inside and then we send them away forever and never see them again.
I feel like you've been plotting this for a while.
That's possible.
Okay, cool. But do any of us know how to steer the spaceship? Or the way home?
Yeah, that could be a setback.
Well, I already packed bags and got them set on the escape pod. So now we just need a way to get Artemis and Orion. Let's brainstorm.
Suddenly, Artemis and Orion walk into the room. Mai, Opal, and Atlas start to panic and all rush over to grab onto Artemis and Orion's arms.
Ha-ha! We got you.
You can't exile us now!
What is the meaning of this?
You guys were going to get rid of us once my idea about the Earthworms was proven wrong.
But your evidence proved efficient. You were right.
I knew it. You are evil. Wait, what?
I know it's hard to believe, but you're actually the heroes of our planet.
So, no exile.
Not exactly.
Huh? But you said my idea was right.
Well, you are right, yes. But I can't tell the leader of that some teenagers figured something out before me. So into the pods you go!
Orion and Artemis suddenly wrestle with the trio until Atlas, Mai, and Opal are shoved into the pod. Fixing themselves up, Artemis and Orion come back into the control panel and Artemis presses a large red button.
And done. Now we can take these worms to the leader, come up with an excuse about the kids, and forget all about the planet that was just destroyed in the process.
Sounds like a plan.
Kurt walks in with a coffee mug and hands it to Artemis. She and Orion look shocked. They'd forgotten about Kurt. Kurt says to them, Captain, have you seen Atlas? I need to talk to him about something. End of play. second play this afternoon is Vampire Hunter, Always Trust Your Gut, by Saskia Cooper. Our two characters are Deagle, a pale, thin man in his late 20s who is a macabre painter, a quiet, well-spoken man, and Mr. Van Chelsen, the famous vampire hunter in his late 50s, desperate to find out what is causing all the mysterious murders around town. The setting is a small three-room cottage in the countryside of the Netherlands in the 1880s. The main room has nothing more than a desk, a chair, and a wardrobe. At Rise, we see the slender, pale man painting. He wears simple clothes. He soon hears a knock at the door.
Who could that be?
Deagle gets up to open the door.
Hello. How are you?
Hello, my name is my name is Van Chelsen, and I've come to commission a painting from you. You're Mr. Deagle, right?
Yes, that's me. Oh, do come in. I can show you some of my latest works.
I have heard many good things about your work. My friend Mr. Janssen recently bought one of your paintings. I believe it was the one of the man sacrificing himself for his queen.
Deagle was rummaging through some paintings propped against the wall. Deagle turns back to face Mr. Van Chelsen.
Did he have the skulls of his forefathers in his sack next to him? And thorns wrapped around his wrists?
Deagle pulls out a painting from the pile. It depicts a jester being put to death.
Yes, I believe so. That's a very interesting painting. Very deep.
Thank you. I painted it after I found out my best friend was getting married.
You have a very interesting view of the world. Very dark. So grim. Why is that?
I suppose I've always been like this. When I was in art school, while all my other peers painted flowers and women, I wanted to make more of a statement. I wanted people to experience something, get a new view of the world when they looked at my art. I wanted to give them something more than flowers and sunrises. And they all mocked me with all their snide comments. But I showed them.
Wow, Mr. Deagle, you seem to be quite different from everyone else. But if you don't mind me asking, how long have you lived here for?
A couple of years now. Why?
Well, it's just that I've never seen you in town before, or even at church.
Well, as you can see, I live far from town. I usually have a friend buy supplies for me. And church, I worship through my art. So what type of painting do you want? I can do portraits, landscapes, and still lives.
Oh, well, I'm just spitballing here, but you, Deagle, have such an interesting face. This might seem a bit strange, but I was hoping maybe I could have a portrait of you.
Oh, no. I could not possibly paint myself. I'm not one for vanity. It's why I don't have any mirrors around here. Besides, it just seems strange to want a painting of me anyway. We just met.
Interesting. No mirrors, as if he can't see his own reflection.
Were you saying something?
I was just talking about all those murders that have been happening in town. Terrible, isn't it?
Yes. I believe I've heard about them too. Horrible indeed. Part of the reason I stopped going into town so much. Especially since they were all artists. And didn't they all occur during the night?
Yes, they did. It was all quite a bloody scene. I can see why you would be worried. Yes, but back to my painting. I was hoping that maybe I could get a still life of my favorite dish my mother used to make for me.
Oh, that's quite sweet. I think I could do that. So what was the dish?
Garlic knots. I can bring over a dish in a couple of days so you have a model.
I am very sorry, but I am afraid I cannot paint that dish.
Interesting. It's almost as if he cannot bear to be around garlic.
Well, Mr. Van Chelsen, I'm flattered that you want me to paint something, but I'm sorry, I don't think this is going to work. I can refer you to some of my other colleagues if you would like.
Oh, no, there must be something we can agree on. Come on, tell me about your favorite pieces that you have worked on. Maybe something might catch my eye.
Well, I'm sorry, but if you don't mind my asking, what is this painting for?
It's for my daughter's wedding dinner.
Oh, so you're going to give her a painting as a gift at the dinner? Then a portrait of her and her fiancé should work perfectly well then. If you already have a photo or a portrait of them, you can bring it over or send it to me, and I can be working. So have a good day, Mr. Van Shelf.
No, it's not a gift for her. Well, you see, in my dining room is where we would have the wedding dinner. I have an old family painting, and my daughter hates it. Yes, she just hates it. Every day when we eat, she says to me, "Daddy, I am just disgusted by that old family painting. I just can't stand looking at all those old people with their judgy eyes and terrible wrinkles. For my wedding dinner, I demand a new painting to replace it."
Okay, yes, I see. Well, do you know how large the original painting was?
Well, I would say 2 by 3 meters.
Well, I think I have some paintings around that size in the back. I'll be right back.
Deagle walks to a room in the back. Mr. Van Helsing calls to him.
My daughter has a fondness for sunny meadows.
Oh, I'm afraid I cannot paint sunshine.
Interesting. It's almost as if he cannot bear the sunlight. Is he a vampire? He shows signs: the pale skin, the lack of reflection, the strong dislike of garlic, the aversion to sunlight, and all those morbid paintings. He doesn't even go to church. Well, I guess there is one way to check.
Mr. Van Helsing pulls a glass vial from his bag and pours it into Deagle's glass.
A little holy water never hurt anyone.
Deagle comes back from the back rooms with several paintings in hand.
You're lucky. I have a couple of options for you to choose from. My personal favorite is the one with the doctors robbing their dead patients.
Oh, very nice.
Deagle lays the paintings out for Mr. Van Helsing to look at.
See, have a look for yourself and pick your favorite.
Deagle takes a sip of the water and begins to cough.
Vampire!
Mr. Van Helsing grabs a wooden stake from his bag and stabs at Deagle, but misses his chest.
What? Vampire? Wait. You're not Mr. Van Helsing. You're Van Helsing, the famous vampire hunter. And the stuff about your daughter's wedding dinner, that was a lie too.
Yes, sorry, that's me. And yes, I did make up the stuff about the wedding dinner. But wait, you're not a vampire?
Why does this happen to me every time I move somewhere?
What?
Everywhere I go, I get accused of being a vampire. Why? Because I'm pale. And I paint the sad truths about life. What's wrong with liking weird stuff? Weird stuff is how I present myself. You conformists.
But what about the lack of reflection, the strong dislike of garlic, the aversion to sunlight? And you choked on the holy water I put in your drink.
I do have a reflection, and I told you I don't like vanity. It's the death of society. And I don't have a problem with garlic. I didn't want to paint garlic knots because my father died in a sailing accident due to faulty knots. And every time I see knots, I'm reminded of his untimely demise. And as for sunlight, do you see how pale I am? I burn horribly. And I was choking because that holy water probably had been in that vial for years and tasted like dust and dirt.
Well then, you've been killing those people. You said you got back at the artist who teased you.
Yes, I did. I was able to convince a gallery to show my work. Edgar Degas is probably the one behind all this.
The French impressionist with the ballerina paintings?
Yes. He was in town not too long ago, and he was likely trying to cut down the competition. He was Jack the Ripper, you know.
He was Jack the Ripper?
Yes! This is very, very common knowledge in the art world. And he likes and does weird stuff, and nobody gives him any crap about it.
Well, I'm sorry, Deagle. I've seemed to really misjudge you, and I'm sorry.
Oh, thank you. But you know what you could really do to make it all up to me? Buy all 5 of these paintings.
Fair enough.
End of play. Our next play is Beyond the Stars by Corinne Brintnell. 3 of our characters are high school seniors. Julie, who's very unsure of herself, Sasha, her confident friend, and Bradley, another friend of Julie's, who is very smart. The other character is Mr. Smith, Julie's science teacher, who is seen by the other students as a little weird, but he is caring. We open in high school science class at the end of school year before final exams. The astronomy final is quickly approaching, and the grades will be the last additions to the students' GPAs. College applications loom overhead as many students struggle to decide their paths for their futures. At Rise, we see Julie in Mr. Smith's astronomy class. She's extremely worried about her final and thinks she needs to be 100% perfect to get into college. Unlike Julie's friends, Sasha and Bradley, Julie is struggling greatly and is incredibly stressed.
No. There's a meteoroid, a meteorite, and a meteor. Why do they all have to sound the same?
Julie? Julie! The bell rang a while ago. Why are you still here? Are you feeling okay?
I was just packing up my stuff. I'm fine. And I get it. The lesson, by the way.
Well, that's good to hear. The unit test is this Friday. If you need someone to study with, I'm here.
I have people to study with, but thanks for the offer. I'm just memorizing all the terms, that's all.
Julie grabs her stuff and quickly leaves the room.
Hey, Julie, we were waiting for you to come out.
I was just packing up my stuff.
Seriously? We've known each other forever. It's obvious you're stressed out about the science finals.
Oh, maybe.
Is it because of your application to the Science and Tech University?
I don't know.
Are you sure? You can tell us.
Okay, you got me. It's just, I got a B+ on my last science test, and I'm 100% positive I'm going to do that again.
But a B+ is great, Julie. Why are you so down?
You need to relax. Take some weight off. Take a break.
You don't get it. That's my dream school. I'm going to be, just never mind.
You're going to be what? Look, I'm going to try to become a microbiologist.
And I'm going to be a chemist. We are all going to study science. It will be great.
Yes, but what then? What am I going to do with my life? I have to be perfect. I can't fail at this test.
Calm down, Julie. You will be okay. We all will be.
No, I'm talking to Mr. Smith. I'm going to ask him to study with me.
Mr. Smith? He is odd, to say the least. You do not want to study with him or be seen with him outside of class.
Yeah, he is a bit weird and all, but if I want to get a good grade on this test, he is my best bet.
Okay. See you tomorrow, Julie.
Blackout. Scene 2. We open to a big science museum. They're having their new planetarium exhibit open up to the public. In preparation, the museum is covered with big and beautiful decorations. Constellation posters dot the halls as shimmering gold banners drape over the planetarium. Julie nervously walks into the museum to find Mr. Smith standing in front of the exhibit. His smile is beaming as Julie grabs her ticket and heads over to meet him.
Hi, Mr. Smith. I got your email to meet here.
Yes! This exhibit aligns perfectly with our test this Friday.
If it helps me with my studying, what can I do?
Oh, great. I love the initiative. Let's go.
They walk into the planetarium together and find a seat.
Wow, this is so cool.
Indeed. The universe is beautiful. You just have to take the time to look at it.
It really is. Even the animation of the stars is pretty. Does it look like that in the sky too?
Of course. Maybe you should go outside and take some time to watch it. It really is a sight. All those twinkling lights.
Yeah, maybe I will someday. Hey, thanks for helping me.
No problem. I see how you doubt yourself in class. But you shouldn't. You're one of the brightest kids there.
I don't feel bright, and I only have 2 friends. Most people stop wanting to be friends with me because I bug them about my feelings.
I know the feeling.
Huh, you do?
I hear what everyone says. The teachers think I'm weird too. Just because I'm different.
Then why are you so happy?
Because I know that being different or misunderstood doesn't mean that you're less than anyone else.
I guess that makes a little sense.
Think about it like this. Look up at the night sky. We only know 5% of what's there, while 95% remains not understood yet.
What does that mean?
It means that even though something or someone is not understood yet, it will be figured out more and more in time.
Kind of like how I don't feel understood when all the people discuss my future?
Exactly, Julie.
Wow, you're right. Thanks for everything, Mr. Smith.
No problem. I'm here anytime.
Blackout. Scene 3. It is 20 years later. 20 years have passed since graduation. The stars shine brighter than ever as many telescopes point up at the sky. At rise, Julie emerges with a star chart in her hand, and she looks up. She smiles, remembering her memories back in high school 20 years ago. A fellow worker hands her an envelope with Mr. Smith's name on it, from Mr. Smith, and she slowly opens it.
A letter from Mr. Smith?
Dear Julie, I wonder how your life is now. When you told me you wanted to become an astronomer, I was thrilled. Glad to know that I was able to help you in your time of need 20 years ago. I know we haven't spoken in a few years, but I wanted to make sure you remember me. I have sadly passed on. But I want you to know that every time you look up at the sky, I will be up there, like a shining star, to give you guidance if you ever need me again. Love, Mr. Smith.
Oh, wow. This is a little bit of a shock.
Suddenly, a star shines a little brighter in the sky.
But I know you will always be there for me. You were right, Mr. Smith. All it took was for me to realize that I don't have to be understood to be happy. And I will always look for the good in people, look to understand what isn't understood, and strive to help anyone in need, just as you have done for me. So now I can finally see beyond the stars.
End of play. Our next play is I Promise We Can by Emma Boerner. Our characters are Jay, who actually struggles with OCD, though she doesn't know it. She has an imaginary friend named Kate, who is the personification of her OCD. She is an actress living in New York. She's kind, thoughtful, albeit a bit awkward. Kate, Jay's imaginary friend. She constantly pushes Jay to be more like her, showing herself as perfect and the ideal person. Over the course of the play, she turns uglier and colder. Lily, Jay's best friend, always there to help Jay through things. Quiet, somewhat snarky, though you don't see it. Gives great advice, but only when she understands the depths of what Jay is in. Fawn, who works at the theater Jay auditions at. Laurel, the director of the play Jay is auditioning for. And Lisa, the actress of Autumn's mother, with Autumn being the role Jay is auditioning for. Scene 1. 2 young girls, Jay and Kate, run across the stage, laughing.
Kate! You never catch me!
Oh, yes, I will. I caught you.
Jay drags Kate, and the girls burst into laughter. Kate turns and chases Jay off the stage. One can hear a ticking clock. Time passes by. Cut to black. Scene 2. Open to a depressing cityscape. Jay walks with hands in her pockets and a hood over her face. Kate follows with a smirk, careless.
What now? That audition was a disaster. And it's raining. I hate the city.
You're irritable today, friend.
Oh, you think so? I'm exhausted. Thanks to you keeping me up all night with an existential crisis.
Remember when we were little and we'd play and make stories about the world's beauty? That's how I see things, and everything is magical. Everything has something under what it is. I'm trying to share that with you, Jay.
Yeah. Well, okay, let's try. Because I like seeing things the way you do. Well, the role I auditioned for, do you think I can get it?
Well, not all of us have it, Jay.
How do you know
Well, we should go. We're just dangerously close to...
Oh, you're brilliant. Lily, we should go to her place. She'll be dying to know how the auditions went. Oh, I'll text her now.
Exactly what I was not going to say. Have you forgotten we're avoiding her?
Avoiding her? Since when? She's our best friend.
I'm not your best friend?
Oh, come on. It's just, you know, you're not really...
Human, is that it, Jay? Imaginary friends don't count anymore. You'll have me through everything. You know, eventually, even Lily will die.
Well, that's kind of...
Did you just cough? Oh, goodness. Goodness, no. We have pertussis, which is highly contagious and will probably spread to Lily, and then she'll die, and it'll be our fault. And then the police might think that we poisoned her or something, and then we'll go to jail, and we'll have to rot in prison for the rest of our days knowing we killed Lily. But it's not too late to change that.
Okay, on second thought, let's go home. Where's the nearest subway stop?
So now you want to kill 50 innocents instead of just one.
Well, I guess we're walking.
Blackout. Scene 3. Jay's apartment. Jay and Kate are sprawled across a sofa.
Oh, you're insane. Why would you make us walk all that way?
Are you kidding me? You said we'd kill everyone.
Don't be silly, Jay. We don't have pertussis.
What do you... You're the one who said I did.
Dear, that was a possibility, not a diagnosis.
Well, it sure sounded like a bloody diagnosis.
I think you just overreacted. You always overreact. Is that your toxic trait? And you can't take feedback to save your life. What's with that, Jay? Do you need to get that checked? I mean, could be a sign that you're a sociopath. Are you a sociopath?
No, I'm not.
That's what a sociopath might say.
Well, that's what somebody who isn't a sociopath would say.
Just saying.
Am I? I need to make a call.
Jay goes to a different part of the stage. Behind her, Lily can be seen in her own home, separate from Jay and Kate. Jay presses buttons on a phone.
Lily, it's Jay. I'm going insane.
Okay, Jay, what's happening?
I don't know, but I can't stop wondering if maybe I can't take feedback, which means that if I'm secretly a sociopath and people tell me that, I won't listen, and then I'll never get fixed. And then I'll go crazy and I'll kill everyone I love, and then I'll rot in prison knowing it's all my fault, and who knows, I might die too. And then who will take care of my cat? So he'll die as well, which only adds to the total of people I've killed. Well, he's not a person, but he's an innocent living thing. It's the same difference. And
Jay, stop! This is all entirely speculative.
No, it's happening.
Do you know how low that chance is? You don't need to be fixed. You're a great person just as you are, all right? If you ever need any help, just call me. You're not going crazy. You're not going to hurt anyone. And remember that if for any reason you can't take care of Scorpio anymore, you can give him to me. I'll watch him until you're ready to get him back. So don't worry about him. He's a sweet cat. It's no trouble.
That is so nice of you.
You should get some rest. You'll be fine in the morning.
Oh, it's only 10.
See?
All right, Kate, I think I'm going to bed.
Fine. I'm not the one with an audition tomorrow for a lead in a Broadway play.
Ugh. On second thought, can you run lines with me?
Blackout. Scene 4. Jay and Kate at a desk. A script in Jay's hand. Jay is clearly exhausted.
Oh, it's 6 a.m. I guess I'm not sleeping.
Oh, pity. Now go fix yourself up.
Jay stumbles off stage and back on in a few moments later, looking slightly more awake.
How do I look?
Well, I mean, presentable.
Oh, okay, well that counts. Oh, it's raining again. That's lovely.
All right, no time to lose. To the subway station. Come on, Jay, show some urgency. The train is coming. Oh, back away from the platform. You don't want to fall and get hit by the train.
No, we're fine. We're fine.
Oh,
we're fine.
well, maybe we should check the schedule just to be sure.
Okay, yeah, it's a C train.
No, do you want to Google that? Just make sure.
Okay, C line, Tribeca. Yes, that'll get us to Times Square in roughly 12 minutes. It's fine.
Okay, but is this the C, though? I mean, can you get to the front and check what it says on the train?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, just make sure it's the C.
Yeah.
Check the board one more time.
Okay. Yes, it's the C. Yes, that... Oh, no. There it goes. When's the next one?
Oh, bad news, 6:50.
6:50? That puts us there at 7:09 for arrival for an audition that starts at 7. Kate, we're dead.
What are we gonna do?
Oh, wait.
Blackout. Scene 5. Jay and Kate stumble up to Fawn, who stands with a clipboard.
Hi, I'm here for the auditions. I'm so sorry. I'm late. The subway.
Please, name.
Jay Winterings.
In and to the left.
Thank you.
J. Winterings? All right, Miss Winterings, my name is Fawn Smith. Over there, you see a woman in a navy blouse? Yes, that's Lauren Kern. She's the director. You are auditioning for the role of Autumn, are you not?
Yeah.
Okay. So you'll be starting with a short improv scene with another cast member. This woman here, Lisa Ames, holds the role of Autumn's mother. Improvise a scene with her, and then we'll need a 1-minute singing clip from a song of your choice, and then we'll end with a 1-minute monologue. Okay, understood?
Got it. Thank you, Miss Smith.
Up you go.
She walks over and sits with Laurel.
How was your day, Autumn? What can I say? Everything that went wrong just did.
The rest of the audition passes in tableau, showing frozen scenes of Jay and Lisa talking. Lisa exits, and Jay stands alone at a mic for the vocal portion. Start up again at the monologue.
You've got this monologue, Jay. You practiced all night.
I don't think it was right.
I'm quite positive I don't know what you mean.
I'm not prepared. I don't know what I'm doing. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do anything. I'm useless. I'm broken. No one wants me. The world would be better without me in the spotlight. I need to get out of this theater.
Tell them. Tell them.
I can't.
I'm sorry to hear that, Winterings.
Jay strides out to the far side of the stage. Kate stops her.
Wait, Jay.
What?
You're suffering. What? Why are you suffering? Because you feel like you have no place in the world? Have you considered you might be right?
I don't follow.
There are bus stops around here that can get you all the way to the Catskills. You could vanish, Jay. Leave the city and hide away.
Yeah, for Lily. I could let her live without me. Lily, I'm leaving the city. I just wanted to say goodbye.
Jay, where are you going?
Just not here. I need to go, Lily. I love you. Goodbye.
No, stop, Jay!
Scene 6. Jay and Kate sit center stage, Kate smirking, and Jay numb and emotionless. Suddenly, Lily runs up, grabbing Jay's arm.
Jay, what are you doing?
How did you find me?
You told me what theater the audition was at, remember? I searched up the nearest bus stop and came as soon as I could.
I need to go.
What? Why?
For the good of everything. Everything would be better without me. I can't fix myself, so I'll just hide away and never come back. You're free.
I? Free? From what?
From me, Lily. What are you missing here? You're done. You don't have to be here for me. You're not tied to me anymore. Go do what you want now.
I am doing what I want, Jay. You're not weighing me down. I can follow my dreams and still hold on to you. I don't think you understand how friendship works. Do you? It's not conditional. You mean so much to me. I would trade you for the world.
But I'm hurting you. I don't want to keep hurting you.
You're not. How can I tell you that?
I don't know.
Come on, I have a cab waiting. We'll go back to my place and we'll figure things out.
Okay, well, can you just wait over there by the cab? There's something I need to do. I'll be right there.
You swear?
I swear.
Lily nods and exits.
So, what are you going to do now?
So you gave up. I thought you wanted to be like me. You followed my steps, every motion, every notion. You stayed so close. You were so close to perfection. But you'll never be there, will you? You'll never be perfect.
You're my friend and I'm yours. What happened to you, Kate?
She's lying, you know.
What?
Lily, she's lying. Friendship is conditional.
Blackout. Scene 7. Jay and Lily sit in Lily's apartment, center stage. Jay's head is in her hands. Lily's sitting across from her. Kate stands watching in cold silence.
So tell me everything.
There's this person, like an imaginary friend, Kate. She's been with me since I was little and we were friends, but suddenly she's different. She's scary. She pressures me, guilts me, tells me I'm not worth loving. But she's perfect. So perfect, I want to be like her. So I go along with what she says.
Jay, you need to say no.
You don't want to do this.
And who made you the boss of that? This is what you wanted, isn't it? Perfection? It's not something that can be achieved. And if you keep trying, you'll break yourself, just like you tried to break me.
Who are you talking to? Kate?
Yeah.
Oh.
Can you help me?
Anything.
When I lose my way, remind me of what it truly is, my mind. My attempt at rationalizing things I can't know, like what you're thinking of me, like what will happen to me if.
I'm here. Through all of it. You know that.
Yeah, and it'll never go away, but do you think you can learn to live with it?
I promise. We can.
End of play. Mouse and Mr. Goose. You're needed. Our second to last play this afternoon is Survival of the Fittest, which is by Josilyn Hill. Our cast of characters are Mrs. Owl, a barn owl, considers herself very wise and is always using a large vocabulary. Mr. Goose, a Canadian goose, he is seen as being annoying and a nuisance. Mr. Fox, a red fox, he's trying to catch mice for the winter and in fact prides himself on his hunting skills, even if they're not that good. He's a tough talker, but he tends to be not too bright. Mrs. Mouse, a field mouse, she's trying to avoid becoming a snack for predators, but due to her small size, has to rely on her wit. She's prideful and extremely prone to overestimating her abilities. Mr. Rabbit, deeply afraid that he will be eaten by otherwise killed in some horrific manner. And finally, Mrs. Bear, a grizzly bear, just wants to hibernate peacefully, a grumpy, curmudgeonly old lady who hates everything and everyone. The scene is various locations within a North American woodland. It is the present between autumn and early winter. We are in a forested area with a large tree stump in the middle. At rise, Mrs. Owl is perched on top of the tree stump, facing the audience and addressing them.
Hello, beasts and birds of all kinds. My name is Mrs. Owl, and I'm a Tyto alba, more commonly known as a barn owl. I'm delighted to welcome you to this marvelous production, Survival of the Fittest. I will be your narrator and escort on your journey through the woodlands today.
While Mrs. Owl speaks her next line, Mr. Goose sneaks up behind her from off stage.
Throughout this particularly exceptional presentation, you will meet a wide variety of animals as they prepare to survive the coming winter months. You will see how, when they are faced with adversity, they're pervasive through their challenges and they... Mr. Goose, what are you doing here? Go away! Shoot! Shoot, shoot, shoot.
Mr. Goose walks off stage dejectedly.
Pay no mind to Mr. Goose, that obnoxious Branta canadensis, Canadian goose, for all of you who don't speak Latin, is always going honking at everything. And it's not just even that funny. Anyway, it's time to visit our first and foremost stop, the meadows.
Blackout. C2. A tall grass meadow just outside the forest. Mrs. Owl stands within the meadow. Behind her, Mr. Fox paces around, sniffing and listening for prey.
Here in this quaint meadow, we observe a vulpus vulpus, or red fox, hunting for prey. The rodent population is notably scarce in the winter. After all...
Hey, can you keep it down? I'm hunting mice out here. Here, mousy, mousy, come here, mousy, mousy, so I can eat you.
What a hypocrite. Anyway, now we see the predator's quarry, an Apodamus sylvactius, better known as a field mouse, attempting to evade her pursuer.
Mrs. Mouse scampers on stage, trying to avoid being seen by Mr. Fox.
Aha! There you are, you sneaky little shrew.
Mr. Fox pounces on Mrs. Mouse, attempting to eat her.
Wait, no, don't eat me.
And why not?
Because I'm the queen of all the mice in the forest. And if you eat me, I'll send my army of warrior rats after you.
Warrior rats?
Mm-hmm. Thousands of rats with teeth and claws that are sharper than your own, that are large enough to swallow you whole.
What? Rats will swallow me whole? Well, I better not eat you, that's for sure. Wait a minute. There's no such thing as rats large enough to swallow me. You must be spinning another tale. Guess I'm gonna have to eat you after all.
Okay. Maybe I'm not the queen of all the mice, but you still don't want to pick a fight with me. Oh no, I can cleave a rock in two just by hitting it with my paw.
And how do I know you're not lying again? I'd like you to prove it. Break that boulder over there.
Challenge accepted. This will be nothing when a mouse as strong as me.
Mrs. Mouse makes a large show of preparing to punch the boulder and brings her fist down on Mr. Fox's nose instead. He stumbles backwards and cries out in pain.
That hurt.
Mrs. Mouse attempts to run away, but Mr. Fox stands back up and pins her down by her tail.
I've got you now. I'm gonna eat you. Yes, I am.
Mr. Fox prepares to eat Mrs. Mouse, but Mrs. Owl intervenes by running between the two.
Wait a minute, Mr. Fox, you can't eat Mrs. Mouse!
And why not? Isn't the whole point of this play survival of the fittest?
Yes, but we also have to keep it family friendly. We can't show a named character being eaten, not in front of the young children.
All right, but if I can't eat her, then what am I supposed to do?
Mrs. Mouse dances off stage.
No, I'm not being eaten. Woohoo!
swear she is just insufferable.
Well, with that disaster narrowly averted, we shall now go to visit Mr. Rabbit in his warren.
Blackout. Scene 3. Mrs. Owl is in Mr. Rabbit's warren, where Mr. Rabbit is pacing around worriedly.
We now can observe a Civilicus floridimus, or eastern cottontail rabbit. He is demonstrating his species' natural instinct when it comes to predators, fretting nervously and fearing the worst.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh no, something's going to eat me. This'll be the year, I know it. Every autumn I've somehow managed to survive all the predators bulking up, but I have a feeling I won't be as lucky this year.
The rabbit begins to speak again.
Think about it. There's all sorts of animals that eat rabbits like me. I could be swallowed alive by a snake, or devoured by a hungry wolf, or shot by a hunter who's craving rabbit stew. And you know what else eats rabbits? Foxes. And Mr. Fox is always going on about he's the best hunter in the forest, and
Mr. Fox walks past, head hung low and muttering and grumbling to himself.
Oh, that mouse. I almost caught her, but a certain idiot just had to intervene at the last minute.
Excuse me, what did you just call me?
Oops, sorry. I didn't notice you were there. Sorry.
And embarrassed, Mr. Fox scampers off stage, while Mrs. Owl glares at him.
Okay, well, maybe not Mr. Fox, but you know what would eat me? An owl.
Seriously, Mr. Rabbit, you think I, the narrator, would eat you? Balderdash, that would be rather uncouth of me, don't you think?
Well, actually, I couldn't understand any of those words you just said.
I said that if I were to eat you, it would be considered crass, boorish, and then...
I still don't know what you're talking about.
Never mind, never mind.
Suddenly, loud footsteps are heard, accompanied by a strange, raspy growl. A large shadow looms over Mr. Rabbit, who begins to hyperventilate.
A monster! Oh no! Oh no, 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 no!
Just as the source of the shadow is about to reach Mr. Rabbit, he runs off stage, screaming and panicking. The monster then walks on stage and turns out to be Mr. Goose. Mr. Goose stumbles off stage, coughing, sneezing, and honking.
Oh, looks like Mr. Goose has a cold. Well, then it's time for our final segment, where we shall meet Mrs. Bear as she prepares to go into hibernation.
Blackout. Scene 4. Mrs. Owl is in Mrs. Bear's den, where Mrs. Bear is lying on a bed of leaves, attempting to fall asleep.
Here in this humble cavern, we see a Urus arctos horribilis, better known as a grizzly bear, preparing to bring the process of hibernation, or when an animal enters a state of...
Hey, you! You're narrating too loud. I can't sleep.
Oh, sorry. I'll be a little quieter.
Mrs. Bear huffs and goes back to attempting to sleep.
Anyway, hibernation is when...
Suddenly, Mr. Fox pads in, still sulking and whining.
That mouse, that gosh darn mouse, just had to get away.
Let me guess. Still upset about Mrs. Mouse?
Blame me?
I thought I told you to keep it down.
Mr. Fox dashes off stage, scared, just as Mrs. Mouse runs on.
Now where's that fox? I'm gonna find him, I'm gonna fight him, and completely kick his rear end. You know what I'm saying?
I said be quiet.
Mrs. Mouse scampers off stage while Mr. Rabbit darts on, panicking and hyperventilating.
Mrs. Bear, you gotta help me. There's a monster after me, and...
The only monster you have to be worried about is me, because no one here seems to understand that I'm trying to sleep.
Mr. Rabbit hastily runs off stage, screaming, being fearful for his life.
Now, if anybody else disturbs me, I'm gonna...
Mr. Goose trots on stage.
Excuse me for a minute. Just let me sleep. All I want to do is hibernate in peace. Doesn't anybody have any respect for that ciders these days?
Mrs. Mr. Goose sheepishly shuffles off stage.
Finally, I can...
Mrs. Owl beckons the rest of the characters on stage.
Oh, for crying out loud!
Blackout. Scene 5. All of the characters are gathered in Mrs. Bear's den. Mrs. Owl stands in the front. Mr. Goose blankly stares at the audience. Mr. Fox and Mrs. Mouse glare at each other. Mr. Rabbit paces nervously, and Mrs. Bear is still lying on her leaf bed, looking annoyed.
All of the forest creatures you have witnessed today have one attribute that is shared amongst them: the willingness to persevere and keep moving on. They had all been faced with a challenge, yet chose to muscle on and eventually reach their end goal.
Wait a minute, did any of us actually reach our end goal? I mean, in the first place, I never caught the prey I was hunting.
Yeah, and I almost had a heart attack because of that thing scared me.
And I never managed to fall asleep and hibernate. Didn't anybody here get what they wanted in the end?
Well, I certainly did. I mean, look at me. I didn't get eaten. Woohoo!
Can't you just shut up for once, lady?
Well, don't blame me for any conflicts. I didn't choose the completely irrelevant moral lesson. I'm just following what's in the script. Anyway, it all boils down to one important, resonant, and long-standing principle: that in this world, it's only the survival of the fittest. And now, to completely hammer home this message into the impressionable minds of the audience, we shall now partake in a brief musical number.
Seriously? We really have to sing a song?
Oh, for the love of all that lives upon this green earth!
Oh, survival of the fittest, the strongest, everyone competes with their friends. It's just keep going. There's no time for showing what we'll achieve in the end.
Everyone runs off stage hurriedly. Mr. Fox chases Mrs. Mouse, Mr. Rabbit starts panicking and screaming, Mrs. Bear grumbles and mutters. The only two characters left on stage are Mrs. Owl and Mr. Goose.
Tell me, why do I even bother with these imbeciles?
End of play. Our last play this afternoon is Revelations at a Farmer's Market by Abigail Wuss. The cast of characters are Stephen, an exhausted man who is led by logic and compartmentalizes events in a pragmatic and selective manner. Margaret, an energetic woman who is led by her emotions and prioritizes human connection above all else. A nice man who's very energetic and sweet. And Greta, a bubbly and kind woman. The scene adapts to different locations throughout the town of Springfield. We open in a cozily decorated home in scene 1, and then we will shift to a small local farmer's market in scene 2, complete with cartons of fruit and a small stand. At Rise, Stephen enters from the right with a briefcase, and Margaret stands at a table to the left.
Another late night at work. Your dinner's cold.
For Christ's sake, Margaret.
Oh, don't give me that.
You know what?
I've been waiting all day to see you.
I'm too tired for this. Can we just have one night where we don't do this?
Oh, and what is this? Talking to your wife for the first time all day? I didn't think that was such an energy-consuming task.
Margaret, I told you, I don't want to fight with you today.
Fine. How was your day today?
It was fine.
They lapse into silence. Stephen sets down his belongings and Margaret stares at him, waiting.
Aren't you going to ask me how my day was?
Fine, Margaret. How was your day?
It was pretty good, actually.
As Margaret talks, Stephen rummages through his briefcase, oblivious to her.
Well, this morning, I used those raspberries from the new farmer's market, you know, the one off Quarry Road, and I made them into the best raspberry muffins I've had. And you know how I've been working on that cookbook? I think I finally perfected the recipe. I made some extras for you to try. Do you want to?
She looks at Stephen, who hasn't heard a single word.
Do you want them, sweetie?
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, you're not listening to me, as always.
Margaret, come on. What were you talking about? Raspberry muffins? I don't even like raspberry muffins.
Stephen.
No, you know what? If it was important...
Well, it was important to me, and I thought it would be important to you, too. Of course, hiding behind your work, just like you always do.
Margaret, I don't have the energy for this today.
Don't you see? That's the problem. You never have the energy.
So I'm the bad guy because I don't want to argue?
Again, you're not listening.
I'm listening just fine, Margaret, and I can't deal with this right now. Today was a long day, and I just can't.
Where are you going?
To bed.
Oh.
I can't deal with you when you're like this.
Stephen, we're in the middle of a conversation. Stop walking away from me, Stephen. Stephen!
Margaret,
Stephen!
I don't know what you want me to...
Just listen to me. For once in your life, just listen.
Okay. What's going on?
Do you love me, Stephen?
Of course I do. Do you love me?
Yes. I think.
What do you mean, I think? Margaret? Do you not love me?
I do. I did. I just don't know what to do anymore. I've just been feeling it so empty and alone that I feel like I'm going crazy. When I come home from a long day of work, all I want to do is talk. I need someone to just listen, to make me feel loved and heard, and so I talk to you, the only person in my world. But you're always so preoccupied with something else. Talking to you is like talking to a wall, Stephen. Even if by some miracle you're paying me full attention, I never get anything back. And talking to that wall just makes me feel even more alone and crazy. I just feel like...
Margaret, what do you...
It's like I'm living in this padded room and I try to speak, but the walls absorb all the sound, and I keep talking until I'm screaming, but my voice has no sound, and I'm nothing. Speaking in a room without a voice, without oxygen, and I'm just suffocating.
Margaret! What do you mean you don't love me?
Did you even hear what I said?
You said you don't love me. How could you not love me,
That's
Margaret?
not what I said. Oh, God, this is why it will never work. Because you never hear me.
No, I heard you loud and clear.
No, you heard one thing, that I didn't love you. And guess what? I don't. Not anymore. Because you only hear the things you want to, the things that support the story you tell yourself. In your mind, I woke up one day and suddenly didn't love you. Not because of any fault of yours, just because of my crazy self-decided self.
You know what, Margaret? Everything that goes wrong in this relationship, in your life, is always someone else's fault. Can't you ever just take some responsibility?
Oh, don't you dare try.
No. You said your piece, so now let me say mine. I can't. I can't even function around you anymore. You always seek attention from me, and I just don't have the energy to give it. You yell at me for staying at work, but I just can't. You yell at me for not talking to you, not hearing you, but I just can't deal with you when you get like this. You hate me for making this story, but there's no other way for me to process your crazy, Margaret. I mean, you just tell me one day in the middle of nowhere after years that you don't love me anymore. Now, how am I supposed to process that? How am I supposed to deal with all of this all of the time?
You're not. You're not supposed to deal with all of this all the time. I don't think it's physically possible for you. I'm not supposed to deal with this all the time either. I don't think it's mentally possible for me.
Then what do we do?
I think you know what we do. I think we have
Wait,
to...
wait. Don't say it. Margaret, we can fix this. Just give me time and I'll change. I'll summon up the energy to listen. I'll find a way to give you attention when you need it.
Stephen, you can't change that part of yourself. It's who you are.
But maybe I just...
No, it's not fair of me to ask you to change into someone you aren't for me. Think of it like, I love raspberry muffins and you hate them. I can't force you to like them for me. That's just who you are. I need things you can't give me. Energy, time, attention. And you need things I can't give you. Sometimes people just aren't made for each other anymore. You said it yourself. We just can't function together anymore.
And what do we do now?
I guess we just figure it out as we go.
Blackout. Scene 2. Years have passed, and it is visible on Stephen's face as he walks through the farmer's market. He stoops down to inspect a carton of raspberries, oblivious to the woman beside him, as she examines her own box of berries.
Ugh, out of season. Raspberries in winter are always just... Ugh.
Mark?
Stephen. Oh, I haven't... you look... How have you been?
Good. I mean, as good as could be expected under the circumstances. But... So how are you doing? I thought I heard you moved away.
Yeah, I did for a while, but my parents are getting older and they need me right now, and it's been strange to be back in town.
Well, now that you're back, you'll always feel free to stop by if ever you want to have a drink, catch up.
Oh,
I
Stephen,
know.
I really...
I mean, I know it's been a while, but...
Margaret, I just found the perfect... Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, no. It's okay. We were just finishing up.
So how do you know my fiance? Old friends, I assume?
You could say that.
This farmer's market is really something, huh? Maggie and me love testing out all the different types of raspberries for her muffins, but I think this might be the one.
You like raspberry muffins.
I wouldn't say they're my favorite thing in the world, but I love hearing Maggie talk about them. It's her passion, and if it's her passion, of course, I'll help her make the best gosh darn muffins we can. You know?
I guess I do.
Well, we should probably be getting back. My mom's waiting in the car.
Well, if you ever want to stop by for some muffins, you feel free.
I got to admit, I've just never been a raspberry guy.
Hey, we all have our tastes. It's nice to meet you, though.
Goodbye, Stephen. I hope you find what you're looking for.
Margaret. He's an energetic guy.
As they exit, Stephen looks sadly at his carton of raspberries.
Need some help with your purchase?
I don't even like raspberries.
Well, And then why are you buying them?
I don't know. I used to like them, but when I was younger. But now I can't stand the taste.
Hey, I've never been a fan of raspberries either. I mean, they're too bright a flavor for me. And now they're harder to find and a little more expensive. But if you look in the right place, you can find right in front of you the best strawberries in Springfield.
She offers him the carton. Stephen doesn't respond, refusing to let go of the raspberries.
Letting go isn't always a bad thing, you know. You can't force yourself to like raspberries, even if it feels like you should. They're on sale right in front of you, but it's okay to admit defeat. Tastes change. You have to let go of the raspberries to make room for something better. There's no reason to buy raspberries when there's a farmer's market full of fruit.
She gently takes the raspberries from him.
You're right. You know, I didn't catch your name.
Greta.
So, Greta, how do you feel about strawberry muffins?
End of play.
All right, everybody, so just so you know, our bathrooms are down through these hallways right here, so if you need to quick run to the bathroom, you can, but we are going to take about 20 minutes right now to talk to our playwrights, to celebrate their work, to let them know what it was like being the audience for their work, so that they can take all of the information they've gotten from these staged readings and then go on as writers. So, really fast, can we go down the line, introduce yourself and your play, and then we will hold applause until after they all introduce themselves.
Just say like your name and your play.
Yep, name and your play, please. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Josilyn. I wrote Survival of the Fittest.
My name is Corinne and I wrote Beyond the Stars.
My name is Charley. I wrote Aliens and Earthworms.
My name is Emma. I wrote I Promise We Can.
My name is Saskia. I wrote Vampire Hunter.
Let's all applaud for them. And our sixth playwright, Abigail
Abigail she actually couldn't be here because she had a conflict. She's competing in a debate as a debate qualifier, so unfortunately she couldn't be here, but her dad and sister are here, so welcome. And I'll be speaking for her.
She's a busy lady?
Yeah.
All right, let's just shout out really quick, like this is a lightning round. What are some things that we saw today that we might go and tell someone that we saw? So just shout it out, no need to raise your hand, I can get us going. The discovery of a really cool thing, which was an earthworm, how an earthworm could be a savior. That was a really, really cool thing. What a high stakes thing to put for an earthworm. What are some other cool things we saw?
Degas, the Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, Degas, Jack the Ripper. Everyone in the art community knows. What are some other cool things we saw today? The thrill of looking for that investigation, right? When Mr. Van Chelsing, right, was slowly trying to peel away the layers of the onion, trying to find that vampire, and we had to go, is he right? Is he totally wrong? And we kept just leaning in, leaning in, leaning in. That was another cool thing. Some other cool things
I think
we
the
saw.
animals, that some of them were sort of stereotypically like you would think of them, and then some of them were not, because we had a very confident mouse and we had a stupid fox. So
yeah. Stupid fox? What are you talking about?
Hey, he was brave enough to realize that the mouse was lying. That's smart in my book.
Right, and like animals putting on a play too, so you had multiple morals colliding with each other and no one able to agree about what the moral was. That's awesome, right? What else did we see? What are some cool things?
I thought it was something that, I don't know if she's in high school or he, but to be able to write the last play.
Yeah.
That's a very, very hard subject
Yeah.
to write about for a young person, I would think.
Yeah.
She's a junior in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And she was one of last year's winners as well.
Yeah.
Actually, we have 3 winners. Abigail, Corinne, and Saskia were all winners last year, so.
Let's give a round of applause for the program. Yeah. Gosh, relationship falling apart, and who knows first that it's over? What an intense thing to write about, knowing first that it's a relationship.
Does the child know?
Yes.
Well, I think too of the plays too, just self-awareness, the last play, and the promises we can, being aware of yourself, being aware of who you are, being aware of your faults and your good parts, So I found that something that was came to the front.
A teacher can have on you.
Yes.
We all need a Mr. Smith, don't we? We need a Mr. Smith all the time.
Yeah.
Gosh, a line from that play too about you don't need to be understood to grow, I think it was. That really hit me.
Or to be happy.
Or to be happy, that's what it, yes, that's what it was.
Well, I gotta say that one little hint that a relationship is rocky is when Abigail wrote this brilliant line, I'll try to compose the energy to listen.
Yeah.
Oh. That was pretty deep.
Oh, yeah.
Why is she listening to me and my wife?
Yeah.
And
what an accurate portrayal of a perfectionist voice, an inner saboteur, in the form of Kate, when we had Jay and Kate working together, or not working together, as the case may be. Right? What a lovely and accurate portrayal of an inner perfectionist too. I think that everyone has that, and I think the artists especially feel that very deeply. So I know that hit me very hard. Final things we wanted to shout.
Related to that, how a coping mechanism that serves us early on in life can later fall apart and become its own enemy.
Yeah, all the best things that one part of your life wanted become some of the worst things sometimes too.
And some people are afraid to lean on a friend, like Jay was, but learning that the love and affection of a true friend can actually help improve your own self-confidence.
Yeah. Any other things we want to shout out today, just as stuff, right? You could all watch Netflix, you didn't, you've got these memories now, right? What's going to stand out in these memories? Any final things that we want to shout out before we go ask some questions of our playwright?
I thought the actors did a great job.
Yes, applause for the actors and applause for our directors. Okay, we're just going to go through the plays really, really quick. The goal here is not to put you guys on the witness stand. They are on the witness stand. We are gathering information from them, and I'm going to help us do that, okay? So everybody, be prepared to open your heart and think about some of these things as we're going through them. All right, so aliens and earthworms. Charlie, where are you? Can you raise your hand really fast? Hey, can you? When you were beginning this process, right? What was the story that you wanted to tell with this play?
Well, at school we were learning a lot about the environment and the effects that humanity has on the world right now.
Mm-hmm.
And me and my friend Nana, who gave me the idea for aliens and earthworms, were talking about it. I was saying how I wanted to talk some part about it without it sounding too much like a community service club in the form of a play.
Okay.
So I talked with her and we came up with this idea for earthworms. Everyone finds disgusting, but they're so important.
Yeah.
So we were it's perfect. Let's do that. And that's how the aliens why aren't these so great? Why aren't these the saviors of the earth?
Are you all aware of how earthworms are important right now? Yes? Yeah, okay. Yes, let's talk to the earthworms. All right. Yeah, what was it like to see them do all of these things about these earthworms, right? When these characters were here struggling over these earthworms, did you feel lectured to, or did you feel like you were leaning in waiting to see what would happen next? What do you think? Leaning in? Yeah.
See what happens.
Yeah, there's a really cool thing that you're doing right here where you have taken something that doesn't seem like it's very high stakes and made it very high stakes. You don't think earthworms are very important, but these characters do. And when they treat it as important, we get that it's important. And you can do that with anything. You can do that with something that's insignificant, or you can do that with, someone, $1 million can be the most important thing in the world. But you made it earthworms, and that's funny, and that's interesting. So, if you were to rewrite this play, what kind of risks do you think that those kids, right, the younger aliens who get jettisoned out unceremoniously, what kind of risks do you think that you might want these characters to take for these Earthworms?
I would like to see exactly like what their process was while they were on Earth, like looking for everything. Because I'm sure if you went around and like took like 100 random people and interviewed them, what's the most important thing? I don't think anyone would say Earthworms. So I mean, I would like to see like them trying to figure out, and then when like Mai found the Earthworms, I'd like to see her more like an emotional moment where like she realizes, wait, like I think we found it. I think I did it. I think I saved our planet, and it's these Earthworms.
So it sounds like by watching this reading, you're like, oh, I want to write the prequel to this.
Yes.
Play. Yeah. No, go. You are now in the process of writing a full-length play. Congratulations. Awesome. That's great. That's what we love to hear. What were some of your inspirations for that?
Well, mainly, I mean, the main idea came from my friend Nana. She said she got it from her mom, so I was like, that's great. Like, now I don't have to come up with a theme for my play. But, I mean, I like all my science teachers, like, that I've had, and I was talking with them about it, and I was like, do you think that science could be more important if you put it in, like, science fiction? And then, I mean, they both, it seemed as if, like, all the science ideas seemed more, even though it's fiction, it seemed more believable to me, so that's kind of, like, I was like, that's so exciting, like, I get to write fiction, but it's, like, not fiction, like, it could happen.
Right.
So.
All right, thank you very much for your play, Aliens and Earthworms. All right, let's talk about the vampire hunter. Saskia, can you raise your hand? Hey, Saskia. All right, so, what can you tell us, when you were starting on this play, what was the story that you wanted to tell for us?
I kind of just had this, so at first I thought like vampire hunting being like a real concept, and I kind of think of vampires, so I was kind of thinking, oh, if I was back then, I'd be in trouble. So I kind of saw this comedic process, like we're goths back then, how bad it would be.
Yeah, that was something that I was tracking in this play. Is he a vampire or is he a goth? Who knows? Let's find out. That was awesome. All right, so.
Or is he just allergic to the sun?
Yeah, he's just pale. He's just the lead singer from The Cure, you know? So for you guys, what was it like to track that investigation? What did you notice about tracking that investigation? When did you come to think that this was an eccentric person versus, oh wait, he really might be a vampire, versus, did you believe it at the end that maybe he wasn't?
Still think.
You still think he's a vampire? Yeah, go for it right here.
I wasn't sure even till the end because I thought once Van Helsing left, he would grab a victim and just show how brilliant he was the whole time in deceiving everybody. But I did want to ask you, were you surprised at how many laughs it got? Because it was also brilliant by the actors, but it was very well done.
There's something like some land I was like hoping that would land and people would kind of catch on. So like, oh, it's connected more like the sunlight, the reflection, vampires can't go into churches, so I was kind of hoping people would catch on like the ridiculous of it.
When did you intend for them to catch on? Did you
Definitely like at the garlic.
Yeah, okay. So this time around I was tracking it and it was the mirrors line. The mirror, you don't have any mirrors in here. Interesting. And it was the mirrors line this time around, but that was very close to the garlic one. And
well, just the saying the words garlic knots.
Yeah.
One historical inaccuracy, that's the
yeah,
one.
but that's what brings the humor to it, you know. So.
Do you have any thoughts about where you would like to take this play? How you would like to rewrite it?
Maybe I can like go into a bit deeper because I felt judged with like how I kind of, like I'm not a real vampire, but I kind of judged how people like see me because like I'm just very alternative and people will like assume things about me, judge me very harshly just based on that. So I kind of wanted to put more of that in there.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I mean it's definitely well within an artist in the 1800s time frame to be like, yeah, no, I have a feeling that you all don't understand. I'm going to be really sincere about it. Romanticism. You know, awesome. Okay, let's give some applause for the vampire. All right, next next we have Beyond the Stars. Kareen, can you just raise your hand really fast? Hey, Kareen. Let's applause for Beyond the Stars. When you were setting out, what was the story you wanted to tell?
So originally I wanted to tell like the story of how like a young girl found like, she found like not only like a friend in her teacher, but like also someone that she could confide in. And it was just really fun to write about because I felt like in today's world, not a lot of people feel like understood, but like it's in my play it explains how you don't always have to be understood to be happy. And that was like a message I wanted to come across.
We have a couple of relationships in this play because we have the student with her friends, we have Mr. Smith. You know, what did you guys find, as the audience members, what did you guys find to be the most important relationship there?
The teacher.
The teacher, right? The relationship with Mr. Smith. What was so cool about that?
I think a lot of us can relate.
Yeah. It's so much fun that we have a mixed age group in this audience because you can read this play as adults looking back on teenage years, and you can read this play as teenagers looking forward on what's going to happen next. So there's sort of ships in the night kind of a thing. It's a fascinating, thrilling thing that you've done right there.
I think everyone has a teacher that they can, you know, hook that to, so,
Yeah.
or will have, if you haven't met that one yet.
Yeah.
There's a thread here with Beyond the Stars, your play, and even Revelations at the Farmer's Market of a sense of neediness, or your needs not being met, for better or for worse. But it's just interesting. There's kind of a theme amongst those three.
Yeah, being heard, being understood, right? If you all want to ask yourselves, what did I see here that I didn't see on Netflix because I made the right choice and went to the Phillips Mill, right? What did I see here? I saw a handful of young people telling stories about needing to be seen and heard and what it is to be understood and what can go wrong when you're trying to be understood and it doesn't work, you know, and how you struggle with that. Kareen, if you were to expand on this play and you were to give us more of that awesome Mr. Smith and, what is the student's name again?
Oh, the student's name is Julie.
Julie. I almost called her Kate, and I was like, no, that's the evil friend. Yes. If Mr. Smith and Julie, if you were to expand on this play about the relationship between Mr. Smith and Julie, what sort of things might you expand on right there? Because they have a whole life that occurs between that planetarium and that letter.
I would definitely like expand on like the time like following like the test where she like realizes that like because of Mr. Smith that she wanted to like pursue like a career in astronomy and how like her getting accepted into college, like that would be like very like pivotal like moment for her and like they can connect throughout the years.
Yeah. Okay, so we have one play writing a prequel, we have another play writing a sequel. You guys are all on your way to writing full-length plays. This is where we want you to be. Do you have any? Was there anything in particular that inspired you about this play, or inspired you to write this play? I'm sorry.
A lot of my science teachers are always like really kind and supportive, and like the teachers that I have, I can feel like I can always talk to, and they're always there if you need anything. I feel like that's like a lot of things that kids can realize that if they can't always talk to their friends, they can always talk into a teacher, and that's something that I wanted to portray.
Yeah. All right, let's give a round of applause for Beyond the Stars. We're going to talk about I Promise We Can next. Emma Boerner, can you raise your hand real fast? Hey, let's applaud for I Promise We Can. What was the story that you wanted to tell with this play?
I wanted to talk about the experience of someone with obsessive compulsive disorder, but I didn't want to write a psychology lecture. I see a lot of stereotypes around it. I get a lot of those. I've told, friends about my experience or even just said the words, I have OCD, and the reaction I have gotten, would you like some hand sanitizer? No. And I wanted to find a way to convey what the experience is without just writing an essay on this is what it's like.
Did you feel like that experience was conveyed, ye audience? Yeah. Were there specific moments that stand out to you? It's like that made you drop in? Yeah, go for it.
Well, I have OCD myself too, and some of the things that I'm also you know, in the theater world, so I'd also probably be having auditions and stuff. The day before auditions, I get very, very nervous. I would probably be the one to stay up all night rehearsing my monologue.
Yeah.
I'm also a born perfectionist. Mom will know this whenever we have to film something for an audition. But I really found that relatable as someone else with OCD.
Yeah. The scream that Kate gives at the end. Great job, by the way. The scream that Kate gives at the end. Yeah. The scream that Kate gives at the end. Where she goes from being these honeyed words, like honey poisoned words, to just being broken instantly. And right back to it. Yeah, Valerie.
I found the inner voice very believable.
Yeah.
And it really spoke how incredibly obsessed one can be with that inner voice.
Yeah.
It was very well written.
What are some of the things that what are some of Kate's strengths? Now we say strengths not like we're admiring Kate for that, because we're not, but characters can be effective sometimes, and effective characters, even if they're evil, can be really fun to watch. Richard III is a 400-year-old play, we still do it, we still watch it, we still love it, he's a bad guy. Right, so what are some of Kate's strengths, do you think? Yeah.
She was protective of her.
Yeah.
But maybe overly protective.
Yeah.
And that was one of the good qualities. But she had some other times the voice changes, and it can be all sorts of things, but not always bad. And that's just it's doing its job. But sometimes it can get out of hand.
Yeah. What are some of?
She was a very successful manipulator.
Yeah, gosh, she's like, it's Lucy in the football. She's like, I'm gonna give you a compliment. Nope! You know, now I'm gonna make you feel bad. This is called gaslighting. Yeah.
I also think that ultimately Kate made her stronger.
Yeah.
So she gave her strength.
Yeah. Isn't
It
it,
took some time.
and isn't it hard to admit that sometimes the worst parts of herself come to you saying, I'm trying to protect you, and that's why you believe them sometimes, because they're right. Heavy air quotes. What are some of Kate's weaknesses? What are some of Kate's weaknesses? There's one significant one that we've already sort of brought up. Yeah, go
Very
ahead.
judgmental.
Yeah. I'm sort of thinking, like, if she was a superhero, what's her kryptonite? I guess is my question there.
She was jealous.
She was jealous? Yeah, she's jealous, right? Yeah. At the very end of the play, Kate is weak against friendship, right? Lily's friendship causes Jay to stand up for herself, and that causes that scream, which is the one time that we see her really break. I find myself wondering so much about Kate's weaknesses. What are Kate's weaknesses? We have one really significant one. But I wondered more about that, and the thing that I thought of that was showing up sometimes in the play is laughter. Right? If you have a perfectionist voice like that, and they're like, you're going to give everybody COVID, sometimes you laugh in their face, right? Laughter's a weird one. But yeah, general question, if you were to expand on this play, you know, I wonder what some of Kate's weaknesses are. What were some of your, I mean, you've already spoken about wanting to make sure that you were telling a story about some mental states, which we need more representation of on stage, so thank you for that. Yeah, I think we've actually covered your play.
I wanted to say something about her writing process, because most of you came to your rehearsals, which was fabulous.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't have that last year, so it was really great. And I remember you saying, I said, what gave you the idea? This started as a story, and it was 23 pages long. And, you know, multi-purposing it into, when you saw that there was a competition here, what was that like? Not only, I mean, the process of editing is really painful, but also changing from a read story to dialogue is a whole different experience.
Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, of course. It was my English homework. It was, the guidelines were 3 to 5 pages, must include dialogue, short story about something you can relate to. It was 23 pages long. Definitely had dialogue and was relatable. I got that part. I gave it to my teacher, and he's like, be paying attention to the length guidelines. So I don't function well on a screen, I guess is the best way I can say this. So I spent many hours sitting in the hallway of my school with a stack of 23 pages, manually crossing out everything that needed to be cut. And I would, I'd make a change. I'd read through it. I'd make my changes. I'd put them onto the online version, see what it was at, and I'd keep going. We got it down to 9 pages, and my teacher was like, "We're fine." Yeah. So I think a lot of editing it is harder, in my opinion, to write something that is short and impactful than to write something that is much longer, because I have to convey a lot of emotion and a lot of development for this particular story in, I think this was about 12 pages. And how can I cut enough that it is within a reasonable length, but also still gets my point across? So,
and that's writing. Writing is rewriting, and that's a wonderful experience, I think, just, as all of you go forward in your endeavors.
And I think one of the things that was really, really fabulous about the writing was that, and the challenge when you're writing plays is you have to convey everything through dialogue. You can't describe everything that's going on. You've got to create that world, and any description you want to create has to come through people talking, or animals talking, or characters of some kind talking. And I thought you did a beautiful job with a fairly short amount of dialogue to convey a very rich and very engaging story.
Thank you.
All right. Round of applause. All right. Survival of the Fittest. Josilyn, can you just
That's me.
That's you. There you are. Right. Great. All right, Josilyn, what story do you want to write? Tell us about
Well,
it.
I knew I wanted to have animals in it from day one. Animals have been a big part of my life. I'm deeply into nature. I want to, help them. I have a dog named Scout at home. I also realized that some of my strengths come in my comedy. I've realized that comedy's always been a good place for me. Even when I'm acting on stage, I tend to get some of the more funnier roles. And so I just thought, okay, well, I'll use these animals and write a comedy story. I thought of the idea of having some sort of framing narrative, and I thought maybe getting ready for the winter. And so I just thought about some of the stereotypes you put on the different animals. I wanted to have a bird as the narrator, and I set it on a wise owl. I wanted to have some kind of running joke, and I thought, ooh, maybe we could use a goose or a duck or something that would be just annoying and go, honk! I thought, we'd have a grumpy bear. We'd have a nervous rabbit. For the fox and the mouse, I decided to invert these a little. We have a fox who's, sorry, not too bright. And we have a mouse who's very prideful and over-exaggerates, not the little scared little rodent that you'd think. So that's kind of where that came from.
What did you think about the comedy in Survival of the Fittest? Does this qualify as a comedy? Yes. Yeah. What was funny about it?
The dynamics between the almost stereotypical, but the actual dialogue that you wrote was very funny. And frankly, I think that the actors that did it were perfect in their representation of what you just described you wanted the animals to be.
It's all in the casting.
This play plays very effectively with the audience's expectation and twisting it, and that's a great way to do comedy, right? This play also plays with...
It also broke the fourth wall.
Yes, I was about to say, this play also plays with morals. Did any of you feel lectured to by this play? No! Why? Because it was funny, and also because Josilyn has made the very adult choice of having a bunch of people with different morals colliding about what the moral of their play is.
Yes, well, I kind of wanted to do a spoof to the whole how a lot of these plays in here, they have a message, and that's really good. They're serious plays. A lot of works, plays, movies, books, TV shows. They all have a message of sorts. It could be subtle, it could be not subtle. I wanted to kind of spoof that a little bit in having the owl, our narrator, sets up this kind of, that there's going to be this moral at the end, and then it fails completely because, you know, no one achieves their goal except for the mouse. You know, but you know, fox doesn't catch his prey, bear can't fall asleep, rabbit almost has a heart attack. The goose is just there.
What was your process for picking out the morals that you were going to poke fun at? Like, were there favorite morals that you were like, oh, this has just got to get poked?
Well, that wasn't really where I came from when I was writing it. I just wanted to write a comedy. The moral, it really wrote itself as good. I planned out some of the scenes, like I wanted to have a predator-prey interaction, for example. I wanted to do something, you know, with the rabbit and the bear, because, you know, you have the grumpy bear, scared rabbit. I wanted to have that running joke at the beginning, that goose. And the whole moral thing, as I was writing, some of the scenes just turned out really different. Like, for example, in the scene where the mouse was going to punch the rock but punches the fox instead. Originally she was just gonna fail at punching the rock, and then then I decided no, it'll be much funnier if she goes for the fox instead. And so then the whole completely irrelevant moral lesson, that just like, it just fell together at the end. It really wrote itself as it went.
If you were to expand on this piece, is there anything that you'd want to add?
I'm going to add more scenes. I was kind of going with like a sketch comedy type. I had a few scenes that had to get cut, you know, because of the character limit. Like, for example, the bear was supposed to have 2 children originally that were keeping her awake. Which I know all you parents in the audience will keep you, well, will relate to.
You should have left that in, that's fine.
Yes, but then I decided, well, we had a character limit, so I decided that instead it would be the other characters that were keeping her awake.
Yeah.
Like, there's a whole lot to do. I had a few skits got, like, rejected, and, you know, I just, you know, I couldn't do anything with them, or, you know, we also had a time limit and a page limit we had to work with. And so if I could make this play bigger, I definitely want to try to add in some of those cutscenes, maybe some more animals. Maybe there'd be like a skunk that everyone thinks stinks, but really he's just a nice guy. I don't know. Maybe there's like a raccoon who thinks he's like the best thief, but then he like fails at everything. I don't know.
Do it. All right, let's give a round of applause to the title of the film. Okay, Revelation at the Farmer's Market. So Abigail is...
So I'm speaking for Abigail here, actually, she gave me some really good material to work with. First of all, in terms of the play, this is the little synopsis that she submitted with her application. When 2 people fundamentally change, the commonalities and traits that they had fallen in love with change as well. This isn't always fixable, but they've been taught that that fixing a broken relationship is better than giving up. But the point of the story is that letting go is not the same as giving up. I think that's a really powerful message. And I also want to just add this, I quoted a couple of you actually in one of the articles I wrote to promote the program, and this is one from Abigail that I love. She says, to anyone who has a notes app full of unfinished ideas and fragment stories, I encourage you to write for Play with Words. It provided me with the motivation to try a new medium, and it helped.
Is that synopsis the play that you saw, do you think? Is that synopsis the play that you saw where letting go is not the same as giving up? Yeah. What did that?
Courage.
Courage? Yeah.
Time,
right? That power dynamic that we were talking about at the top between these 2 people in this relationship that's falling apart and they're both trying, right? We talk about characters who are trying to do things and then have to learn and adjust, right? Isn't it neat how you can take the language of theater, try to make something happen, and without having to go into a ton of description, through action itself and conflict, can tell the whole story of a relationship dissolving in 10 minutes. Thrilling stuff for a high schooler to be writing.
Dissolving, but then when they run into each other years later, there's an acknowledgement of the past, but the present is so much better than what they were living.
Yeah, because choices have consequences in a play and they keep rolling forward, you know? Yeah. All right. Any final thoughts or questions for our playwrights? Go right ahead.
Just an observation that may or may not elicit comment or need comment, that all our playwrights are young women.
Let's have applause for that. Any final questions, final things that stand out for our playwrights? Playwrights, do you have any final questions, final things that stand out for our audience?
We asked this last year, I remember, how many want to continue?
Yeah, but, yeah. Are you gonna continue?
By show of hands, who wants to
Show of hands.
continue with playwriting? Oh, no. Well,
Keep
we
writing.
encourage you to.
Yes, indeed.
But all continuing in theater? Yeah?
Yes, please do that too.
Okay, absolutely.
You could write your own shows.
Do you want to take a
So,
seat?
I just want to say thank you all for coming. Please tell people about this program. It's an incredible opportunity, not just for the students, but for all of us to learn from them. So I hope you enjoyed yourselves and take away some good thoughts and come back next year and bring more people.